Well, from that we cross over to County Hall, where National Assembly's Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is vetting the 4 chosen among 36 Kenyans to fill vacant positions of IEBC commissioners, the 4 being Juliana Wihonge Chirera, Francis Mathenge Wanderi, Irene Cherop Masit, and Justus Abonyo Nyang'aya. This is after President Uhuru Kenyatta nominated the 4 and forwarded their names to National Assembly for vetting upon receiving the report of the selection panel for the appointment of commissioners of IEBC. Currently, Justice Abonyo Nyang'aya is currently being vetted. Let's listen in.
16 members of parliament into the August House, and in 2002 we merged the political party with NAK and NARC, having learnt our lessons in 1997 when all the presidential candidates went on their own. So in 2002, albeit very painful, we learnt our lesson, and we then captured power, as it may, and the rest is history.
Thank you. That is very impressive. Do you want also to say 1 or 2 statements about your experience to issues to do with governance and especially elections? Because that is a specific reason you're here.
Yes. As far as governance is concerned, I have worked in the area of governance, and I would like to say very candidly right here that when the South Sudan and the North Sudan were in turmoil, we were asked and we responded as an organization called Inter-Sudanese Consultation on Peace and Justice to organize a consultation on a number of political parties that felt that they were left out of the IGAD-sponsored comprehensive peace negotiation. We then brought all the political parties together, including SPLA, and UMA Party, to talk about peace, to talk about comprehensiveness and participation of the other political parties that felt left out. And Mr. Chairman, I must say that having done that, we were also given an increased mandate to explore and bring into the negotiation issues of Southern Blue Nile, Abyei, and Nuba Mountains people that felt that they needed to be on the table of negotiation. Although they did not reach the table of negotiation, but they were invited in as observers, which was an absolute success in terms of involving people in this.
Thank you very much.
So that is something that we did.
Let me recognize the presence of our chairman, Honorable Muturi Kigano, who is present with us. I do not know for what reason he wants me to chair this meeting in his presence, but that will come clear.
Yes, the trust he has in you.
All right. As you know, Mr. Justus Nyang'aya, the approval hearings are controlled by the Constitution itself. And then there is a Parliamentary Approvals Act, which controls or which designates matters to do with approval hearings. And specifically, Section 7 of that Act outlines issues which constitutes matters that should be considered in approval hearings, and one of them is the procedure which was used to arrive at the nominee, which is you. The procedure which was used. Number 2 is the constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the office in question. That is number 2. Constitutional and statutory requirements relating to the office in question. And number 3 is the suitability of the nominee, that is you, for the appointment of the office proposed. Suitability. Abilities, in regards to abilities, experience, and qualities meeting the office to which you have been nominated. So those are some of the broad issues that we are interested in. Of course, there is the general guidance under the Constitution, which is wider, and members are not necessarily tied to these 3 issues. And so we want to hear you. You have introduced yourself, but now you have come to us for approval.
Absolutely.
We want to give you, say, 5 minutes only to express yourself as to whether you are suitable for the office for which you have been nominated. Please keep time, because members are working through lunch hour. We seem to be working from home. So spend only 5 minutes to say something about how you think you are suitable for the office for which you have been nominated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I am confident that I am indeed suitable for this office. My background, especially in the area of peace and conflict transformation, will add value to the work of IEBC. I did watch IEBC. I'm not an insider, but it's like a footballer that is watching football being played. There's so many ideas that run in their heads and feel that if they were inside there, they would do something. But I felt that the reason why the 4 of us are being nominated is because 4 people from the commission had actually walked out of the commission. My own feeling, without judgment, is that this is something that they may have worked out and represent the people, the office, and the country that had given them the mandate to run the election. I felt that it may have been something to do with, wasn't there anybody that could have worked with them to work out their differences and continue to work as a commission? That is the question that I ask myself. And I did work on issues to do with peace and conflict transformation with the Sudanese. It was a much more difficult thing to do, and we did it, and we managed to have people work together. I will bring that kind of skill into the commission. I look again at the issues of lobbying, for example, and lobbying is an absolutely important area of work in the commission, because at that level, that's where the commission comes and sits down with parliamentarians, for example, and say that since we really don't have enough budget, for example, where do we have the deficit? And I listened to the Speaker of the National Assembly say, why can't the Commission come back and tell us that they have the deficit and convince us? And we will find money for them to handle an effective election in 2022. I feel that this is something that I will bring in terms of lobbying. But again, Mr. Chairman, let me just share with you briefly some of a piece of work, or maybe two, that I did with the member states of the UN to discuss arms trade treaty, which was only discussed at the level of conventional arms. But they had not included the small arms, light weapons, ammunition, munition, transfer of technology, and other things that were actually in Africa killing us. And that, if that was not included in the arms trade treaty as a conventional treaty, part of the treaty, Africa will go on killing themselves because the access of small arms and light weapons, which was basically majorly used in conflicts in Africa. We don't manufacture them, but they're manufactured elsewhere, needed to be regulated. And as part of the team that was working with UN member states in New York for 2 years, we managed to bring in small arms, light weapons, ammunition, munition, transfer of technology, and the regulation that comes with it. That, for me, is a skill, is a value, is something that I will bring in. Lastly, and I hope that 5 minutes is not over yet, team building and policy enactment is a big thing for IEBC. When I was working for Amnesty International, I did manage to bring in a beginning of a conversation around Nairobi City Master Plan. We were still using 1948 Master Plan. Up to the time that I brought this, I did a research entitled The Unseen Majority. And the unseen majority brought out that the unseen majority were 2 million people living in Nairobi without being planned for by government, because nobody knew that they existed. These are people that...
Well, that is Justus Nyang'aya, who is an IEBC Commissioner nominee appearing before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee for vetting. We shall have a comprehensive, or rather a comprehensive report later on in our subsequent bulletins.